saw a comment recently about making some tactics on former teams. So today we're going to have 2014 Pep. That's right, his Bayern Munich team, and tested on the database. So Robben and Ribéry, they're going to be here. Let's get into the video. So we're going to start off with this fantastic old school database. I will leave a link to the guy who made it in the description because it's absolutely incredible and we had a ton of fun. I do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying the video so far this year, be sure to leave a like and get stuck in by smashing that subscribe button as well. But we had a fantastic season over here, only losing one game, that being against, can't even say the name, but again, against them, a 2-1 defeat. But we did, however, win 28 out of a possible 34 games, the other results obviously being draws. It's going to be Thomas Müller, the man who doesn't seem to age at all in world football, coming in with 32 goals across the competitions. We're also going to have Arjen Robben. That is right, Arjen Robben, lovely to see him back, and just a good chance to manage him in the game, coming in with a 7.7 highest average rating. Mr. Toni Kroos, back in the Bayern Munich days with 25 assists, and we are going to have 88 league goals scored, a conceded of 20, and yeah, 0 red cards. If that doesn't tickle your fancy, we're going to have 3 other trophies as well. That is going to be the Champions League against Arsenal, a very good team obviously in this era, the DFB Pokal against Freiburg, and also the German Super Cup against bitter rivals Borussia Dortmund. Now going over to the team stats, is going to be one real standout one. That is going to be the possession coming in with 68% of the ball. It's a very possession focused tactic and the stats prove it. The fewest conceded coming in at 20, the most clean sheets coming in at 18, obviously the 68. The pass completion comes in at 90. Over 550 shots, 581 to be exact. Fewer shots against at 159 because we had the ball all the time, and also the most goals and the most points per game. Going over to that wonderful data hub, we are going to be looking at 2.59 goals per game, so not the most out there goal scoring Pep tactic I've probably released in my history of this channel. It's a much more possession orientated one, a lot more of a controlling sort of style, to be honest, and across all saves we pretty much averaged 68% possession, so it speaks levels what this tactic can actually do. 0.59 conceded, over 17 shots per game, a 90.54 pass completion, and a 78.29 tackle win ratio. And going over to the goal scorers, these names, it looks beautiful. Thomas Müller with 32, Arjen Robben with 29, Ribéry with 20, potentially the biggest snake in German football, Mario Götze with 13, Toni Kroos with 12, Javi Martinez, baller indeed, 12 coming from him, Thiago with 8, Schweinsteiger with 7, Dante with 6, Badstuber, throwback and a half with 3, Boateng with 3, Mandzukic with 3, Alaba with 2, and also Shaqiri coming in with the 1. In terms of the assists, it's going to be 25 for Toni Kroos, Martinez with 18, Arjen Robben on the right-hand side with 18, 10 for Ribéry, 9 for Götze, 9 for Alaba, Philipp Lahm, the main man himself, coming in with 8 as well, 7, 5, we're seeing it all. Loads of players getting stuck in with scoring the goals, and loads of players getting stuck in with creating them. Now over to an old school Manchester City who had a certain Sergio Aguero in the team. We're not going to talk too much about him though, as we did actually have a very good season in the Premier League, won the league by 2 points, also winning the Champions League against Porto, who have a very good team, and also the Capital One Cup against Manchester United, making it a treble winning season. We scored 80 league goals, conceded just 18, and the 1 red card, and it is going to be David Silva picking up the most assists, Vincent Kompany with the highest rating, the big man himself, and Big Serge coming in with 34 goals. Quite a good season. Speaking of a good season, not as much possession, but very, very similar. 66% of the ball goes in our favour. Fewest conceded at 18. The most clean sheets at a very high 23. Over 700 shots. Less than 200 shots face our goal, coming in at 189. Also, when it comes to the goals, we weren't too far off. We definitely, if we went more attacking, we could have easily beat Tottenham, but credit to them where it is due. But we did pick up the most points per game. Going over to that data hub, we are going to be looking at 2.11 goals per game, so still over the 2 goal mark, way under a goal conceded, and that is a mixture of a great defensive system and how good we are on the actual ball. Over 18 shots a game, edging towards 19, a pass completion of 90.58, and a tackle win ratio of 78.75. We're cooking. What about this then? An old school Sheffield United 19th place predicted to finish in Sky Bet League 1, and we've got promotion. Was it an exciting season? No. Did I just include it to show you it works with a smaller team? Yes, we're honest on this channel. I like to at least include one smaller team. Obviously, when I make a Pep tactic, I usually just do teams he has managed, but I've seen the comments, you want to see an underdog, at least one in these manager recreations, if it's a manager like Pep that has obviously only managed big teams. So here it is, Sky Bet League 1, Didn't win the league, 1 point off winning it, but we did get automatic promotion when we were meant to finish all the way down where Oldham were to finish. It is going to be Marlon King coming in with 18 goals, Harry Maguire, the big man himself, with the highest average rating, and it is going to be Stephen McGinn picking up 24 assists, as we score 89 goals, ranking only the 5th best, but we were the best at conceding a very low 41. The team stats, don't let it put you off, because even with a real bad team in this league, we're still getting 68% of the ball. Absolutely incredible scenes, still the fewest shots against. Pass completion, we're good at that as well. We love to see it. Most dribbles being made at over 700. The fewest conceded at 41, quite convincingly as well. And also the most clean sheets. We're going to share that one, I'll allow it, with Bristol City. Data hub wise, we are just about going to be scoring double to what we are conceding, more or less. 1.93 scored for, and against 0.89. Over 15.5 shots a game. A pass completion of 89.43. And attacker win ratio takes a bit of a hit, but still at a very good 77.71. I wasn't going to include it, I was going to call it free, but I had to get Barcelona in on this database because you got Messi, you got Neymar, you got everyone, you got the whole gang, and do you know what? A fantastic season. 35 wins out of a potential 38. Lionel Messi with 48 goals in the league, or across all competitions, not just in the league. The highest rating, the most assists. He is absolutely broken on this database. The goals scored at 134, the goals conceded at 11, and 0, that is 0 red cards, and also a treble winning season. The Champions League against Roma, the league against everyone, and the Spanish Cup against Real Madrid. You can't go wrong. Team stats again, we do love to see it. I mean, we're featuring in pretty much all of them. The most points, the most goals, the most shots, the fewest shots against, as you can see here. The real big one, 67% of the ball. Absolutely incredible. Alongside of the fewest conceded by quite some stretch, and the most clean sheets. A Spanish dominance. And the data hub is going to look very attractive. 3.53 goals per game, 0.29 conceded. Now, I'm an honest person, I'm going to say this right now. Barcelona's team on this database are incredible. Realistically, if you were to take this into the current Barcelona team, where the defence might not be as good in terms of the actual player ability, I'm going to say you'd be looking at around out a 0.5, because the defence on this database was absolutely nuts. I'll be real, I'm not going to hide that fact. Over 21 shots a game, a pass completion of 90.41, an attacker win ratio of 78.34. It's looking pretty good. We had some pretty big games with this Bayern Munich team. The first one being the 5-2 win over Arsenal in the Champions League final. And just seeing some of the throwback names, man, like Szczesny in goal was absolutely incredible. And this Bayern Munich team were absolutely cooking. Toni Kroos here, I remember that going in. Pick that one at the back of the net, Arsenal fans, because that's an absolute rocket. This was a funny one here because it's a bit of a goalkeeper error as Szczesny just loses his head. Thomas Müller goes through. Just about, I thought a little bit more that was going to drift wide, but a 3-0 up, good advantage, taking it into the second half. We go again here to create the fourth. It's a perfect dummy from Kroos across into Müller. And to be honest, this final was done. Credit to Santi Cazorla though. Ball into Ozil. He's going to drive it across. It's quite a good goal to make it 4-1. Was I worried about them coming back? Maybe after the second one went in, after, about 10 minutes after. But realistically, when you got the team we did and the tactic we've got, we were never going to fail. And the set piece just glorifies that as we're going to knock it back into Dante. What a final. And of course, the Pokal final against Freiburg. Quite a close game where it's due to Freiburg, but Ribéry just absolutely run the show inside of the first 14 minutes. A bit of a solo goal there. Arjen Robben making it 2 out of 2 for goals in these sort of highlights. We love to see that. And you know what? It's nice to see these Bayern Munich wingers get involved. They did get 1 goal back. It didn't really faze us. It's quite a good goal, but that's 2 trophies. Of course, it is going to be your favourite part of the video, the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying so far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I want to announce this probably one more time, but we have got a Patreon giveaway that is going to expire on the 10th of this month. That is right, 4 days after this video is live. It's on the screen right now. It is going to be a copy of FM24 and a free mystery shirt as a bundle. Not only do you got a chance of winning this, you're also going to get over 8 perks, including access to all 3 of the tactics today. You're going to get early video, early tactic release, priority in the tactics, and the rebuild requests, one-on-one help, and much more by signing up to the Patreon below in the description. And I will say this now, the Fark tactic is coming this week. I promise. But let's go over and break down this tactic. So, in goal, we are going to have a sweeper keeper, obviously on attack. Now, this is based around the Bayern Munich team, so this is going to be your Manuel Neuer. Now, it explains pretty much just in the name. Manuel Neuer was obviously one of the most aggressive sweeper keepers there probably has been. He often positioned himself on the halfway line sometimes from set pieces. The guy was an absolute nut job, one of the world's best, an absolute baller. The inverted wingback was designed for Lahm, I will be honest, and I think that represents his role quite well in this team in this current era of football. Next to him, a ball-playing defender, simply on the default alongside of another ball-playing defender, which we do love to see. On the left, I've gone with a complete wing-back for David Alaba, and again, it is going to simply be on the supportive role. So every single player here is going to be on the default, and that's because, for example, the right-hand side already has 4 instructions, and the left-hand side has 3 good ones anyway, so I don't need to overcomplicate the system just to look flash. In the middle, we're going to have a register coming in, simply on support, on tackle harder. Next to him, a box-to-box is going to be a Javi Martinez role, coming in on support, simply on the default. I promise there's no mistake being made. A few of these players are going to be on the default because, again, we didn't really need to overcomplicate the system. Moving up the field is going to be a default Mezzala on attack, and we saw the possession we had in this team. 66 was the lowest, I think, then 67, then 2 lots of 68s. Now, having this midfield set up the way it is, and even the inverted wingback coming in and helping maintain that ball, plays such a crucial role in this team. So if you can, I would not look to change any role. But the one thing I will say is if you can't play a Mezzala, and I mean you physically can't, you could obviously go for the likes of, where is it, an advanced playmaker would work. That would really be my only choice if you can't use a Mezzala, but I can't think of a reason why you couldn't use a Mezzala. But I will mention that in the video. On the right-hand side, an inside forward is going to come in on attack, simply on shoot more often. It is Arjen Robben cutting in we're talking about. He loves a crack at goal, and the same is going to be the case for Ribery on the right as an inverted winger on this occasion, on attack, on shoot more often. And to finish it off, we did trial a supportive centre forward in this style, didn't get as many goals as what I wanted, so he is going to be on attack, and he is simply going to be on the default as a complete forward, and that is going to be your Thomas Müller. Let's go over the team instructions. Over to the team instructions, it is going to be based off a custom tiki-taka style on the positive mentality. And we are going to go with fairly wide for the attack and width. We're going to overlap left and underlap right. Alaba, Lahm, that's what we're going for, and it did work very well, to be fair. We're going to play out from the back. We have got 2 ball-playing defenders and players that can do it, so we may as well utilise it. We're going to go much shorter with the directness of passing. We're going to go with slightly lower on the tempo, so for those of you that are saying, Josh, all your tactics are higher tempo, here we go. Not one that is higher tempo. But hopefully, that suits you. We're going to go with be more expressive on the creative freedom. We're going to work the ball into the box, and we're going to have mixed crosses. So, as you can see, a very possession-based tactic, but one which is willing to get aggressive, obviously positive mentality, and be more expressive. So, we really are taking the game to them. You're not going to score loads and loads and loads of goals because we are playing this way, but it's the Pep way. Back then. Transition, we've got a counter, we're going to hold shape when we have won the ball, just to pretty much, again, it comes down to holding the ball, holding possession, getting those real good levels of possession, and essentially, I rarely play this way, I'll be honest with you. I usually leave it blank or I go with counter, but I like the way it plays because we're very aggressive at winning the ball back. And once we've got the ball back, which is very compact, we get into where we're meant to be and we can then play our game. And it was quite refreshing to play a different way. We're going to distribute the ball quickly. We're going to play to the centre-backs while taking short goal kicks. And lastly, there are going to be a couple of changes from this. We're going to go with a standard line, the high press line of engagement. We're going to go much more often on the trigger press and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. We got cooking with this Barcelona team. This is going to be the semi-finals of the Spanish Cup against Pamplona. A 7-0 win, a very convincing win. And we got goal scoring going on from inside about 4 minutes. It's going to be Neymar coming in with the first goal of the game, as it is going to be Adriano out on the left-hand side, forgot my left and right, and a ball into the box where really, I thought it was Messi there, but Sergio Busquets does get the goal, as it is now going to be Messi on the right-hand side, the ball back in the middle, into Roberto, into Pedro, into the top right-hand corner. And even playing as this team, man, it's convinced me to do a save for one of these teams, because just seeing their names on the screen, like Song, for example, it's so refreshing. It almost feels like I'm playing a completely different game. So I can't stress enough how well this guy has done making this database, as Messi goes through again into Alexis Sanchez before obviously the transfer, and we were absolutely cooking. 2 more goals to come in. Sanchez on the right, back in the middle, into Dani Alves, into Busquets, into Messi, off the post and in. The guy that cannot put a foot wrong, the best player to have touched a football pitch, gets the job done as to be expected, through 1-on-1, and it's another goal. It is utter dominance. How about a Champions League final where all the goals were won by headers? that is going to be this one. There's going to be a great ball in from Messi into Carlos Puyol, out of all the players we can imagine. And the next set piece comes in the 90th minute into PK. You need to get these set pieces, guys. You really do. As you can see, against a very, very good looking Roma side. Credit to getting to the final, but they ain't got my tactic. Of course, as promised, we are going to go over an attacking variant and a away game variant. I'm going to label it like that because it's not strictly a defensive variant. And obviously, you can download all of these by being in the Patreon, or you can simply watch the video and obviously copy them click for click, which is why I include them in the videos. But the attacking variant isn't going to see too many changes in terms of the player roles. There are a couple in the team instructions, because obviously it is already quite an attacking variant. The real key one is going to be the change from a complete forward to an advanced forward. Now, this does remove a bit of realism from this 2014 sort of Pep style tactic, but it does get more goals, so I'll leave it up to you. But if you are desperate for a goal, the advanced forward is by far the best striker role in the game, so a little heads up. The inverted winger remains the same, the right side remains the same, the mezzala untouched, box to box, one additional instruction, that is going to be get further forwards, obviously to get him stuck into the game. The register remains the same, and the back line actually remains all the same apart from the left-hand side of ball-playing defender, who is now going to be on dribble more. So minor tweaks, but they make the big difference. Now over to the in possession, there's only going to be one change, and it is simply going to be bumping up this from slightly lower to slightly higher. Obviously, if you are trying to chase a game, you are going to expect to be playing more aggressively and putting in a little bit more effort, to put it bluntly, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Other than that, remains untouched. When it comes to in transition, the only change is going to be removing the hold shape, because now I am going to let them be a little bit more sort of, not carefree, that's an awful word to use, but not be as restricted, should I say. So we're not going to directly counter-attack, because that's not our style. But just leaving it blank is going to work really well, and not have as many sort of restraints on how attacking we can be as soon as we win the ball back. In terms of out of possession, we are going to rock the high defensive line instead of the standard. We're going to remain with them much more often, and obviously the pressing on the goalkeeper, but we are going to go with step up more. So it is going to be a much higher line, which are also going to step up more as well. So it can be vulnerable in terms of getting balls in behind against us, but if we are trying to chase a game, score a goal, you need to take risks. And lastly, the defensive / away variant, whatever you want to say, I would say more of an away game, like if you're playing a sort of a mid-table team and you come up against a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, an Atletico Madrid, whoever you're coming against in your relative leagues, I would go in with this because it's a very sort of cautious tactic that can still score a goal and also get a very good feel for the game. So the complete forward is going to be on support, simply on the default. The inverted winger is going to be on support, still on shoot more often, and the inside forward is going to exactly be the same, obviously on support, on shoot more often. So just a little bit more of a restricted version compared to the default, where obviously these players were set to attack, a little bit deeper to help obviously retrieve the ball from the midfield and not be as far pushed up the field themselves. The mezzala is going to be on support, on the default. A central midfield player comes in instead of a box-to-box, because I don't really want to commit another player sort of going forwards the whole time. In this role here, he is simply going to be in the team to pick up the ball and play the ball around, very risk-free. Hence, the take fewer risks, the dribble less, and the pass it shorter. And to finish it off, a DM's going to come in the midfield, on support, on pass it shorter, hold position, tackle harder, and mark tighter. A no-nonsense, risk-free DM option. In terms of the back line, it is going to remain exactly the same as the default variant, so nothing to talk about there. And we have dropped the sweeper keeper from attack down to simply a supportive default role. Over to the team instructions, it is going to be still on the tiki-taka on the positive. So to clarify, the default positives, the attacking is attacking, and the defensive away is also on positive, because this is not a game or a tactic to seal out a game, it's simply to go into games with, so I will say that as well. And there are going to be quite a few sort of things are going to be very similar, but there are a couple of things that are different, and they are going to be the likes of be more disciplined and dribble less. So essentially the idea behind this tactic is to go into the big games with it, get a feel for the game, pass the ball around, not to overcommit to any attacks, but still have enough firepower to get a goal, which obviously we do need to try and get. And playing like this is very risk-free. You're not going to score 5 goals a game by playing like it, but you are going to have a very composed set of players that can play up against some of the world's best. In transition, I'm not going to waste your time. It is literally the same as a default. Ball possession, again, no changes, because this is not really a tactic designed to park the bus job. We're not going to play like that with a Pep tactic. You can't really do that. So this is simply to go in against them big teams away, and that is going to complete not one, not two, but 3 variants of Pep's 2014 Bayern. Now we've got an access to these teams. If you want to, you don't have to. If you've got any 2014 teams you want to see me replicate in the comments, please leave a few comments. It can be however many requests you want. Get them in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on the video and definitely consider subscribing. And the Flark tactic is coming Sunday. I promise. I've seen the comments. I apologise for the delay. But enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, here are going to be a couple more videos I'm sure you're going to love. Down here, you're going to see my previous video, and here is going to be a video I personally recommend for you guys to check out. Trust me, you're going to love it.